What is the most overrated video game that you can't believe is so popular? Super popular games are popular for good reasons. Whether it be solid, consistent updates, awesome dev team that listens to community, great deals on content, great in-game events, and many other factors. I see a ton of people saying Fortnite and Call of Duty, but you have to remember these games are free and stay constantly updated. There are a lot of kids that can't afford to buy new games all the time, so they play these games. Just like Roblox as well. I have zero intentions of playing these games as a 35 meters, but I completely understand why they're popular. Full disclosure that I haven't played it, but I do not understand the hype for Dark Souls, or really any From Software game. I don't understand the appeal of games that are purposely, even maddeningly difficult, with minimal story or lore and no difficulty settings. I got all of 20 or 30 minutes into Sekiro, could not kill the first mini-boss and said fuck it. I don't have the infinite time from things I should have to sit and play that game, which is too bad. Because the game looked beautiful and I was really excited to play it. Same with Elden Ring. Red Dead Redemption 2. I enjoyed the original RDR. I usually like Rockstar's GTA game model, and people acted like this was the goddamn second coming when it came out. It's so fucking slow. I gave it for hours. I got to the first town and did some of the missions there. Maybe there's an amazing game in there at a point, but I will never know because every bit of getting that far was a chore. The characters and story were fine, but there's only so much slowly riding a horse next to someone while they exposition dump I can do. Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. They're so-called remakes, but they don't even qualify for that title. All I would give it is remaster. But even that would be in the lowest of lowest remasters ever made. Music is terrible. I could do better, and as a blind Pokémon fan, that's the first thing I notice. No platinum features. Graphics are apparently not remade at all according to cited people, and it basically just wasn't modernized in any way. It was worse before the day one patch. Elden Ring. Admittedly, it was my first FromSoft game, so I'm unsure if the others are similar. I didn't mind the controls mechanics, but the world just felt weird in some kind of uncanny valley kind of way. It didn't feel lived in. It felt more like a snapshot of an uncomfortable fever dream where nothing quite made sense. When I play something like The Witcher or Baldur's Gate, I feel like I'm a character or characters in an actual place. Gonna piss people off here, but the Persona games, to a lesser extent Final Fantasy as well. I simply can't get into the JRPG storylines. They range from comedically juvenile to completely detached from realistic human interaction. Despite ostensibly being about human relationships like Persona often is, it's all very young adult to me. It's just a type of fantasy storytelling that doesn't work for me. Red Dead Redemption 2. I hate the controls PC because they feel so sluggish, if you get what I mean. And riding by horse gets old a bit fast as well. And I didn't understand what I had to do after some time, had to go to Blackwater, or whatever it's called, but I'm wanted there so I can't got there and continue the story. The graphics and details are really beautiful though. Dead Space. This game disappointed me so much because it had under-delivered on the promised horror. I was playing it and thinking I've seen all these jump scares in Doom 3 already. Yawn. It's a mystery to me why people like this average Resident Evil for clone that's not even scary. The lore is decent, I guess, but a very mid-game otherwise. This is so easy. Destiny. The original was fun. Even the second was fun. Fun to play with my friends. Had a great time. But my god, is it all incredibly stupid. All of the lore is just absolute garbage. It's the dumbest shit ever. It's so weird when people act like it's good. It's not. It was fun. Doesn't mean it's good. Almost any Madden game from the last 10 years, the gameplay blows. It hasn't changed at all. And now it's so stuffed with shitty music, ads, and microtransactions that it's damn near unplayable. And every multiplayer game for Madden is basically 10-year-olds just rolling out and throwing it deep every play. Breath of the Wild, the weapon break mechanic and lack of plot were incredibly annoying. Ghost of Tsushima, the AI and intelligence made stealth easy and not fun. Plot was okay. Discoverables got old really fast. Side quests were all generic and forgettable. Graphics and voice acting were amazing though. Ocarina of Time ... I'm not saying it's bad, I just don't get the people who say it's the best game ever made. Several years ago, even read a guy say there will never be a game as good as it. To each their own, of course, but I wonder how much of the obsession comes from the game quality or simply nostalgia. The original Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation. I tried playing it when it came out and I couldn't get into it. I tried again after I played and highly enjoyed 8 and 9. Still couldn't get into it. I even tried again when the reimagined one came out and still no. I'll give it another go on PC this time. Heidi say Animal Crossing, super boring and repetitive. There is a good amount of customization, but you can't do anything in-game. I bought Stardew a week later and I never booted up AC again. Outside of customization, there is really nothing to keep me engaged. I found the grind not worth it. Halo always felt like the most mid-game ever made, but it was a revelation to people who didn't know it was wholesale stealing from 30 established sci-fi properties and trying to pass it off as original. Sorta like Harry Potter, it's only impressive if you have zero experience in the genre. Really, any of these massive open-world games that have come out recently, only to have managed to capture me. And those are The Witcher 3, haven't gotten very far into it, but I do enjoy playing it from time to time, and Ghost of Tsushima. Oda 2 is a goddamn snooze fest to me, I'm sorry. I enjoyed Animal Crossing for a minute, but the charm wore off quickly. It's basically teaching people to be hoarders. I resented having to be responsible for paying for and building every new building or structure. Why can't my deadbeat neighbors do some of the work around here? E is popular, but it's fun to think back on when it was this early little thing that seemed like it could just fade away and get cancelled at any time before it was released and no one would have noticed. It was somewhat underrated at that time. Everyone is saying Fortnite, and honestly I used to think the same, so I refused to play. Eventually I tried it because some friends wanted me to play, and honestly I'm kinda addicted. I mean, it's not amazing, life-changing, but like it's way better than I thought it would be. Tifa, my brother plays it, and whenever he does he just gets really pissed off. The other week he sold his entire team, which he spent real money on, to get a pack which he got nothing out of, all because my uncle tricked him into thinking he packed a good cards in one pack. Baldur's Gate 3. Clunky, frustrating menus to navigate. Combat and skill checks feel unfair even on the easier setting. I honestly have no idea why people claim to love this game so much. I feel like it has something to do with its streaming popularity. Oda 2, everything is just so tedious to do. Yes, I know it is supposed to be immersive, but man, I really think they took it too far. Maybe I'm just getting old. I liked the first ODR. I feel it was less of a chore. Also, the combat system is very meh. I don't play sports games, but my BF has complained about them releasing essentially the same game every year. 2K in particular. Then they shut down the servers on the games, so consumers are forced to buy the newest editions that are the same game. I understand the popularity of Final Fantasy, even though I don't like JRPGs personally, or Last of Us, even though I don't like interactive movies personally. But I will absolutely never understand the popularity of Call of Duty and its clones. The Last of Us. People always talk about the grey story of this game, as if they never have watched a movie. It's typical Hollywood cliché without anything that makes it unique. The gameplay is mere swell with no interesting ideas whatsoever. Lol. RuneScape, the entire Zelda franchise, the entire Pokémon franchise, Counter-Strike, Overwatch, Siege. Yes, I understand this will probably be the worst answer possible relative to Reddit's user demographic, but I just can't shake it. Any sport video game, NBA, FIFA, MLB 2K. Maybe I'm a boomer, but if you want to play sports, why not just go outside and play sports? At least other games have some measure of escapism. Sport video games don't have that. Mobile shooter games. I tried them and found it extremely slow and controls were mess compared to the PC experience. Also pay to win mobile strategy games. Like WTF. Why did they become so popular? Civilization games, or all of them. I played each for thousands of hours trying to figure out why people got addicted to it. I don't get it at all. But maybe I'll figure it out soon. Just one more turn. Death Stranding. The rest of these I don't like. But I understand why someone might like Fortnite or COD etc. Death Stranding is as much about people being HK thoughts as it is about the game itself. Breath of the Wild. Compare it to past Zeldas and it's awful. If you say that's not fair, it's apples to oranges. Fine. Compare it to open world games from even a decade earlier and it's also awful. Red Dead Redemption 2. Pretty much all the fun stuff is hidden behind layers and layers of needless complication. There's a fun game in there, but it's buried under filler. I also just hate Dutch. FromSoft games, Bloodborne aside, as I haven't played it. Great if you're a masochist, but I don't find any have a real story or fun gameplay. Just rinse and repeat until you memorize a pattern. I don't really get the hype around Breath of the Wild, so everyone talking about how good it is. Bought it, played it, never finished it. I just don't get what's so amazing about it. Horizon PlayStation game where you fight robot dinosaurs with a bow and arrow. I get it would be popular if it's real dinosaurs, but robot dinosaurs is just no my thing. Halo. I played some of each of the first few. Entirely boring and basic as hell. No idea why it's so famous. Hell. Call of Duty is way better, and that game is a bit boring too.